Morning has broken. Hi everyone. So the kids are in the other room. I've just put Peppa Pig on for them. So I'm expecting them to come running in here, charging loudly and completely ruining my live stream. This is what I'm expecting from my kids. Right, I want to get another phone so that I can play your comments. Let's get another phone. All right, here we go. Let's have a... So, I'm not properly awake today. I still haven't done my weightlifting and running yet, which I do have to do. So I'm going to do a half-hour-ish live. Then I'm going to do some weightlifting and go for a little run. Completely not in the mood for it. Hi, Finola. So what a sad day. Hi, Nancy. I didn't have time to let everyone know that we're live. But I'm sure that bit by bit you guys will join. So yesterday's lives, let's have a look. Let me just try and get it on here. We had a lot of views yesterday. I mean, it's quite an interesting day yesterday, wasn't it, with the lives? I had a lot of comments, and you know, there's some very hot, passionate views yesterday. Yeah, concerning Priscilla. So, but anyway, a very sad day. Wink Martindale, 91 years old. I was told in the middle of the night that he died. I didn't know, I fell asleep, but I woke up to it. The first person that messaged me was Deborah. Hi, Deborah. Thank you, Deborah. Oh, that's good, Finola. I hope they had a good birthday, Finola. Brilliant, isn't it? Twins are the best. The bond between twins is very special, and the fact that they're living such long lives is beautiful, don't you think, Finola? So what I've decided to do, I've just seen one now come up. There's let me just share that. So what I'm gonna do is I just want to copy that because that looks like a good little link. So I tend to copy the links. We have done a live on Wink Martindale. I would say Wink Martindale is one of the most genuine people that Elvis ever became friends with. And Wink Martindale and his wife, you know, I think his poor wife, weren't they together? Obviously, was it 49, 50 odd years? I don't know everything about Wink. I'm still learning about him. Yeah. But I would say he is one of the most genuine friends ever had. Always speaks very highly of him. Louis, thank you, Emily. It was a rush job. Should we what it is, I've got to let about 50 people know, which takes me about 10-15, can take me 10-15 minutes. But I've only got half an hour. So when it's like that, I do tend to just jump on and hope that everyone gets notified. So I got my coffee. I'm still not awake yet. I'm still a bit, I've been awake for ages, but I'm still a bit just, I don't know, I'm not, you know, when you wake up and you're not like on fire. That's how I feel today. Louis, my cousin says hello. Her name is Christine. Hi, Christine. Boss buys, it's a gala. Loizos. Did you know, Emily, did you know my real name is Loizos? Loizos. So let's just tell a couple more people. I've just let Lorna know. Let's tell Carolyn and Angie. Let's have a look. Carolyn. All right, Karen, you got it, right? Hi, Karen. Thank you for your comments with Wink Martindale. Right, Carolyn, are you awake, Carolyn? Let's have a look. Well, super. Should we wake up Carolyn? And we'll wake up Angie. Here we go. Angie, are you there? Let's have a look. Right, so we've just woke up Carolyn and Angie. Hi, Jane. So then who else can we wake up? Come on, guys. We'll wake up a few people. So there's Clara Maria. Who else have we got? I'll just tell Dan. Deborah, I think you guys have told Deborah. I think Deborah at this time might still be asleep. So, Leasu. Leasu. Is that what it says? Leasu? I can read a bit of Greek. Leasu. Right, let's keep going. I was forced to go to Greek school. I think we all were, weren't we? Right. Should we tell Tina? Tina sent me some Easter eggs. Tina sent they might be coming today for the kids. Let's tell Nicola. Josie. I'm rushing, guys, because I know I don't have long. Kate. My cousin wants to know what part of Cyprus you're from. Right. My mum and dad were both born in Paphos, in a small village called Marathunda, near Stima. But my dad was adopted and he went to live in Limassol. So my dad grew up in Limassol. And in the 1960s, they both moved to England, in London, and that's how they met. My mum was a dressmaker in a factory in London, New Cross, London. And my dad was a mechanic in London, fixing cars. But my dad worked for the British Army, in Cyprus, fixing aeroplanes and their vehicles. Yeah, that's how my dad learned English, yeah? So the reason I'm here is because my dad learned English in Cyprus, at the army base, yeah? Fixing their cars and aeroplanes. So, yeah. Right, I think, okay, right, we've told a few people now. What sort of Greeks are you? My cousins asked, what sort of Greek? Well, Cypriot, if that's what you mean. What sort of Greeks are you? What sort? I don't understand what that means. What sort of Greek? Let me just put some hot, right. Da, da, da. Right, I'm just warming up this coffee to make it last a bit. Right, okay, we're getting it. Okay, that's better. Got to have a coffee in the morning. Well, it's not even morning now, is it? Okay. Right. So I've been a bit naughty. I put some honey in my coffee. What sort of Greek? Let's have a look. Right, Emily, Louis is happy. Elvis, Greek person. Yeah, I'm a happy. There we are. That's the sort of Greek I am. A happy Greek person. Greek Cypriot, but I was born in England. Both my parents are from Cyprus. Yeah. And come on, guys. Greek Cypriots are very strict. I was forced to do many things I didn't want to do, like going to Greek school. I was forced to read English and all that kind of stuff. It's quite a strict upbringing, but I'm also very proud of being Cypriot. So she's stirring because you didn't understand the... Yeah, believe it or not, guys, I couldn't speak English until I went to school. When I went to school at age 5, that's when I started to learn English. Yeah. My mum never spoke to me in English. My mum only speaks to me in Greek. My dad always spoke to me in English. Yeah. Which is probably how I learnt my English. You get it, guys? My Greek isn't very good. It's okay. I understand it okay. I read it okay. But remember, I grew up in England. So so that's it really. But say hello. Say hello to my little friend. Yeah, there sure was, Finola. Sure was. Right. I'm going to play the beginning part. So we're just having a bit of a chat. But I did want to pay respects to Wink Martindale. And just get a feel for him and his friendship, how he met Elvis, his career, that kind of stuff. Only 45 again today. What do you mean, Nancy? What are you on about? 45 what? Right. Let's get it up. Okay. Right. I'm only going to play the first 3 minutes of this. So part of this interview I don't really like, so I'm only going to play the first 3 minutes. And then we're going to jump around. Okay, guys? Okay, right. Now, even for me, I'm learning about Wink Martindale. I haven't done loads of stuff on Wink Martindale, to be honest with you. I haven't done that much. Oh, Nicola, you hurt your thumb and wrist. See, this is why you need the carnivore diet. See, it reduces pain. The keto diet reduces pain. Right, let me just press play on this.
An Elvis squirrel, too.
Man, I feel like I'm back in Arkansas with an Elvis squirrel. I'll tell you what. That's high cotton for a Razorback boy. Most people know you as this iconic game show host that hosted more game shows than I think anybody but Bill Cullen.
Yeah, I could never hold a job.
Yeah, but my heavens, what an impact you've had on the entertainment business. But what they don't know is that you were working in radio in Memphis, Tennessee, when a young guy in 1954 recorded an album, and a guy named Sam Phillips brought it to your radio station in July of 1954. What happened that night?
Well, I was the morning man at that radio station, WHBQ, and I happened to be at the radio station that night. It was a hot July night, 1954, as you mentioned, and I was showing some of my friends from Jackson, Tennessee around the station, and I heard the commotion coming out of this studio where a DJ named Dewey Phillips did a show called Red Hot and Blue. And I excused myself from my group, and I went in there, and Sam Phillips, founder of Sun Records, had walked in with a new record by a truck driver named Elvis Presley. It was called That's All Right, Mama. That's all right now, Mama. That's all right with me. He put it on, played it once, switchboard lit up. He played it 7 times in a row. And I was designated by Sam to call Gladys and Vernon to see where Elvis was, because Dewey wanted it to come down to the radio station. So I called.
So, you know, obviously we all know this story. We've heard it 1,000 times, but this man was there. He was there, you know, he was at the birth of Elvis. Yeah. So this is a big deal, guys. It's a big deal. The fact that this man can sit on TV, you know, literally 50, 60 years later and tell us what actually happened is amazing.
And Mrs. Presley answered the phone, and they were listening. They lived in low-rent housing called Lauderdale Courts out in East Memphis, very poor. And she said Elvis had been so nervous about his record being tested that night on the radio, he went to see a double feature Western at the Suzors Theater. So they said, we'll go get him and bring him down to the radio station, which they did. And I met him that night, and he remained my friend until the day he died.
You guys were very close throughout all of the 50s, the 60s, and 70s.
Yeah.
Tell us about Elvis, because we hear, you know, a lot of stories, but you knew him in a way on a personal friendship level. What was he like?
So I love it when people that are asked about Elvis that actually were his mates, you know, were with him right at the beginning of his career. Yeah, they got to meet the real Elvis. Yeah, got to know the real Elvis, got to see the real Elvis. Obviously, we are always defending Elvis. Obviously, the amount of things that are said about Elvis that are not nice just are unbelievable. Yeah, even today, I've had some comments on my YouTube channel that are just so wrong, that are so horrible to Elvis, that are quite cruel to Elvis. Yeah, I delete them straight away. But when we listen to Wink, we see a description of the real person. Joanne, hi, Joanne. No, yes, I was forced to Greek dance. I'll be honest with you, Joanne, when I was a kid, I just wanted to be with my mates at school. Yeah, so being forced to go to Greek school, being forced to have dancing lessons, Greek dancing lessons, for a 10-year-old boy wasn't a good thing. Now, looking back, I'm pleased that I can write Greek. I understand it okay. I was taught a little bit how to dance in Greek. But when you're a kid, 10 years old, you don't want to be forced to do anything. You just want to be with your mates. Yeah. And we had to go Greek school on a Saturday. So Saturday is the day you meet your mates. So my upbringing as a Greek Cypriot was difficult. It wasn't straightforward. It was good and bad. Yeah. Remember, Greeks are very strict. Yeah. So, you know, it isn't all good, but there are very happy memories as well. I'm just being completely honest with you guys.
He was a giving person. Few people know how many millions of dollars he gave to charitable organizations and to people. He would be driving along the street in Memphis and he'd see somebody with a flat tire. This actually happened. And he pulled over at this particular juncture, and he didn't just have the tire fixed, he gave him the money for a new car.
Wow.
He was that kind.
How many people sat around in Memphis with flat tires hoping Elvis would drive by?
Probably a lot after that. But
Sandy,
he was a good person.
And Sandy, you have an...
Right, so let's jump forward a little bit.
And then he had Wink stand up.
What a wonderful, wonderful story. And you know, my guess is Wink doesn't mind you telling that story anywhere in the world.
No, you know, he doesn't. And what I usually say, we do a lot of Sirius Satellite Elvis interviews, and they say, what was it like? Everybody wants to know what it was like to kiss Elvis. And I said, he was the best kisser, and that's basically what our relationship was, kissing for years. But he was the best kisser, but Wink is the best husband. So God really took good care of me.
So yes, so obviously Wink's wife dated Elvis many times, but don't forget, dating in the 1950s was different. Yeah, it didn't mean you were automatically bonking. It was going out on dates, little kisses. It was very different in the 50s. Remember the 50s, yeah. So quickly commenting. So Finola, you will be surprised just how horrible the comments can be that we get. This is why we defend. Yeah, we defend Elvis because he doesn't deserve it. Your parents were doing the best for you, Louis. Finola, I wish it was that simple. I wish it was that simple. Anyone that's had a Greek Cypriot upbringing knows that it's complicated. It's complicated. Right, so... Okay, right, so we're going to play the old black and white footage that everyone knows about. Let's see if I can get it up. I did post it on one of my channels. Let's have a look, see if it comes up. I think I posted it on Elvis Presley, Long Lost.
You know,
let's have a look. See if we can get it up, guys.
You know, Wink.
So if we go to your videos, it should come up. This does get copyrighted, so which is okay, but this really to me is very iconic. Yeah, so Elvis, there's a sudden rise to fame. Suddenly everyone's talking about Elvis. So here we go.
The magazine covers then, and getting bigger and bigger. You just had the feeling. You didn't know what was happening, but the electricity, George, was incredible.
How about the big show at Rustwood Park scheduled for July 4th? Bob Johnson surely, I know, wants us to mention that, and we want to mention it. I believe the proceeds from this show go to the Cynthia Milk Fund. Is that right, Elvis?
Yes, sir, that's right. And I'd like to say let's see, what would I like to say? I'd like to say that we have a diamond ring that we're going to...
So I love this. This is like, this has been watched millions of times. This is the real Elvis. He's nervous. He's still in awe of celebrity people like Wink, who was a well-known DJ, well-known personality. You can completely feel that Elvis is caught up in a whirlwind here, and he stutters a bit. You really do see a real, how can I say it, the real Elvis, I think, in this little 1 minute clip. Yeah. I also can tell from this clip that Wink Martindale absolutely adored Elvis, thought he was fantastic, loved him. They were friends till the day Wink died, to the day Elvis died, and Wink spoke very highly of Elvis to the day he died. So let's keep going, guys.
Have as a door prize. It's my initial ring. I've had it for some time, and it has 14 diamonds in it, and we're going to give it away at the door as a door prize.
I see.
And everything.
And all the proceeds from this particular show, this is July 4th at Rustwood Park. Elvis is going to be there. He's going to sing and play. His band will be there. Many other stars will be there, too. And we will certainly want you to watch Bob Johnson's column in the Memphis Press Cemetery, watch all the publicity on it, and get your tickets.
Let's see how he's chewing his gum. He's like, so 1950s.
In advance. Elvis Presley, I want to thank you again because we know you're a busy man, and thanks a lot for coming by and seeing us at the dance party and saying hello to all your friends here in Memphis and the Mid-South. And anytime you're in town and want to come by, we certainly will welcome you.
Well, thank you very much, Wink, and I'll see you again.
Okay, thanks a lot. Elvis Presley.
It's so sad, isn't it? So sad. Poor Wink had an amazing life, 91 years old. I noticed he was on a show I watched last year with the two girls that interview everyone at Gracelands. I'm trying to remember what their names are. Is it Holly? Is it Holly and the other one? And Wink Martindale walks up behind them and surprises them. Let's just see if we can just see. Let me just pause this.
The magazine.
So I'm going to play you some of the sort of news clips showing that Wink has passed. Yeah, I just wanted to see if I could find those two girls. You can see I've been watching loads of campervan stuff. The two girls. Let's have a look. Let me see if I can find the two girls. Wink Martindale walks up behind them and surprises them. Oh, that's what I watched last night. I watched Elvis Fans Matter, and they were discussing Elvis's will and if the Smiths were in Elvis's will. I found that quite fascinating. So I think we're going to discuss Elvis's will soon. If the Smiths were in the will, I think that's going to be a topic soon. I just want to see if I can find the girls being surprised by Wink. Let's see if it comes up. It might not come up. If it doesn't, I can play some others, but so the kids are all watching their stuff. No, I don't think it's going to come up, but it was Holly and we're at Gracelands. They're brilliant, those two, aren't they? The two ladies. And Wink just walks up behind them, says, "Hi, everyone." And this was only about a year ago, I think. You guys have probably watched it. Right, let's have a look. Should we, right, before I start clicking on these links, I want to just play some of the news releases. Obviously, Wink Martindale is obviously very, very well known for his game show, for his many different game shows he did. So let's just play a few clips, guys.
Well, classic game show host Wink Martindale has died. His publicist says he died after a battle with lymphoma. He began his career as a disc jockey before finding success as host of Gambit and Tic-Tac-Dough. According to Martindale, he gave away more than $7 million in cash and prizes as host of Tic-Tac-Dough in his 7 years as a host. Wink was 91 years old.
Right, so the dog's barking because someone's at the door. Right, let's find another one.
Breaking news right now. We are just learning about the passing of game show legend Wink Martindale.
Our entertainment guru George
Hello,
Pinocchio was live in the newsroom with the details. George.
All right, thank you. Wink Martindale was 91 years old. His career spanned more than 70 years. Wink got his first job when he was 17 as a disc jockey at a radio station in his hometown of Jackson, Tennessee. Wink was a radio staple for years, but he also found a home on television, primarily as a well-known game show host.
Wink Martindale! Thank you very much, Kenny Williams. Good morning, everybody.
Wink Martindale was the host of Gambit. He also hosted one of the...
So guys, do you lot all remember watching these programs? Obviously, he's very American, isn't he? So the American people watching, 43% of you are Americans. 20% of you are from England, and then we have Canada and Australia and many other countries that watch us.
versions of the popular Tic-Tac-Dough.
Once again, Ron on this show has nobody in the audience, so he needs some good advice from you good people out here.
And a later version of High Rollers.
When a cow stands up, which end rises first?
I came out here in 1959, and I've either produced or hosted 21 different game shows, and I've been a DJ all my life. So that sort of wraps up my career in 10 seconds.
Actually, there's plenty more. Wink was a pitchman, doing commercials for VW, Tylenol, and Budweiser.
Final question, ladies.
I didn't know that, see? Budweiser, Volkswagens, you know I love Volkswagens, yeah? I restore them. I've had many, many Volkswagens.
How would you save the planet?
Before the commercials and the game shows, and long before he got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Wink was on the Billboard Hot 100 chart, number 7, for his 1959 spoken word song, Deck of Cards.
When I count the number of spots on a deck of cards, I find 365, the number of days in a year. There are 52 cards, the number of weeks in a year.
In those early years, Wink also showed us he could sing.
I love this. So he released a song and he released a talking song, if that makes sense. Talking only. So let's keep this in English.
Baby satisfies me. She puts my mind at ease. When she tells me that I'm so easy to please.
As a TV host in Tennessee back in 1956, Wink interviewed Elvis Presley on his dance party show.
Anytime you're in town and want to come by, we certainly will welcome you.
Well, thank you very much, Wink, and I'll see you again.
Over the years in L.A., we saw Wink a lot. And as it turns out, this Wink always came with a smile.
Sure did.
Martindale died in Rancho Mirage. He was surrounded by his family, including Sandy, his wife of 49 years. Flowers will be placed on his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame today at 5 o'clock. Live in the newsroom, George Pinocchio, ABC 7 Eyewitness.
It's very sad, but like Nancy said, he had an amazing life. He literally had an amazing life. Right, shh. Kids are about. Right, have a go. As long as you talk quietly, guys, it's fine.
Jake's here, and I did not know she was coming.
All right. Oh, hi, Jake. How are you? Right, let me just look up Wink Marks. So I think, right, shut the door behind you. Thank you. You're amazing children. I love you so much. Right, Emily, the answer to your question. Winston Conrad, so Wink Martindale. It says here Winston Conrad. I'm guessing that's his real name. Winston Conrad Martindale. Was an American disc jockey, radio personality, game show host, and television producer. He was best known for having hosted Gambit between 1972 and 1976, and again from 1980 to 1981. Then he did Tic-Tac-Toe in 1978 to 1985, and High Rollers from 1987 to 1988, and then there's another program called Debt from 1996 to 1998. He's a very handsome man, wasn't he? Very handsome man. Obviously, he dies April the 15th, which is obviously was sad. But that, you know, that man has had a very long life. But we're so happy that he lived to be 91, you know. Such a lovely man with a good heart who truly loved Elvis and always missed and spoke well of Elvis. So it says here, let's have a look. After moving to WTJS, he was hired away for double the salary by the Jacksons' only station, WDXI. He next hosted mornings at WHBQ in Memphis while at college, student at Memphis State University. Before graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree in 1957, while at U of M, Martindale became a member of the Kappa Sigma fraternity. Right. Just want to shut the door, guys. 1 second. Just we can block out any noise from the children. Okay, let's just keep going. We're learning together, guys. We're learning together. Let's have a look. I'll just check your comments. I liked Elvis's real hair colour. Yeah, so did I. It's beautiful. My wife's real hair colour is mousy. It's mousy like Elvis's. Hi, Liam. Is Liam joined us? Hi, Frederick. Hi, Carolyn. Hi, Jane. So I'm just quickly saying hello to everyone. Okay, let's read a bit more. But then I'm going to try and play a few more little clips. Here we go. So, on the evening of July 10th, my birthday, so it's like 13 years before I was born, Martindale was showing the WHBQ studio to some friends, and he realised that his colleague on the 9 p.m. to midnight shift, Dewey Phillips, was getting a large number of reactions from listeners after airing a new song. The song was Elvis Presley's first record, That's All Right Mama. The song was recorded at Sam Phillips recording studio on the evening of July the 5th. On 1954, Sam, who had brought the record on July the 6th, was in the WHBQ studio on the first airing night and had Elvis's telephone number. So DJ Dewey Phillips wanted to interview Elvis during his program. So Wink endeavored to contact Elvis, but Gladys Presley, Elvis's mother, answered the phone and said Elvis was so nervous that he had gone to the movies. Gladys and her husband Vernon brought Elvis to WHBQ, and Dewey interviewed Elvis without his knowing that he was on the air. Martindale reported that Elvis later admitted that he would have been unable to talk. All right, so Elvis didn't even think it was on air. That's really interesting, guys. Martindale rendition of the spoken word deck of cards went to number 7. Right, so I think this is all his radio career, his TV career. You know, a very talented person, a very talented presenter, DJ, and many other things, I think. So looking at this, yeah, so he hosted the Teenage Dance Party. Now, is that the one that Anita Wood hosted? Because I know Anita Wood jointly hosted. I'm sure it was that one. You tell me, guys, if I'm wrong. Martindale became the host of the Teenage Dance Party, where his friend Elvis Presley had made an appearance on June the 16th, 1956, following Presley. Right, okay. I wonder if it'll mention Anita Wood. I don't know. I'm sure she co-hosted that. Okay, guys, but there, we can go on and on and on, couldn't we? This guy has had a fantastic career. So he is known as a disc jockey, a radio personality, a game show host, and a television producer. And he had Let's have a look. 4 children. So Wink Martindale had 4 children. Interesting, guys. So, okay, let's go back to YouTube. Let's see what we can find. What we want is Wink Martindale talking about Elvis. Talks about Elvis. Right. So I did a post today on questions of the day. And the post was, I've done a few today, but the question was this: how many genuine friends did Elvis have? Because I was thinking about Wink Martindale, yeah, and I was thinking he was such a good friend to Elvis. Always stayed true to Elvis. He even saw Elvis, you know, right up, more or less right up until when he passes. He saw it when Elvis was very unwell. His wife talks about them seeing Elvis when he was very sick, yeah, and how gutted they was. They both went to their hotel room really upset because they knew how unwell he was. But the one thing I'll say about Wink is that he always spoke so beautifully of Elvis, was such a good friend to Elvis. So the question I posted today on Elvis Presley long lost footage, my question of the day that I try and do them every day now: who was a genuine friend to Elvis? I asked this question. Who, of all the people Elvis knew, obviously there's hundreds, who was really genuine? Who was a really genuine friend that was true to the end? And when I say genuine, people that stayed honest to Elvis, even after he passed, decades later. And I'll give you an example. Anne Margaret, a true friend to Elvis, a true friend. Even today, as we speak, a true friend to Elvis. Who was a true friend to Elvis? Now, obviously, Wink Martindale. Now, there's people like, for example, Red West, in the end, stitched Elvis up. So did Sonny West. So did Dave Hebler. Yeah? You see what I'm saying, guys? When we go right back to the past, who was true to Elvis? Many of you will, of course, say the Smiths. So what I'm trying to say is, put it in the comments. Who do you think was a real, true friend to Elvis? And this is why I really admire Wink and his wife. Yeah, they really were true to Elvis. And Wink, to the day he died, never bad-mouthed Elvis, always defended him. So put it in the comments, guys. Right, let's have a look. Let's, right, there's something here, remembering Wink Martindale. Okay, let's click on this.
I was doing Clock Watchers, and I happened to be there at WHBQ one night in July of 1954. And I was there that night because some of my high school playing football buddies from Jackson.
Hang on, let me just... Sorry, guys. I'm gonna... Let me just find a different one a minute. Let's keep going. Right. I want to... look at all these old things. Should we see if this plays? Here we go, guys.
Elvis Presley and Wink Martindale. Winston Conrad Wink Martindale was also a close friend of Elvis and played a role in the early stages of his career. Born on December 4th, 1933 in Jackson, Tennessee, Wink was a disc jockey radio personality, game show host, and television producer. Wink helped organize Elvis' first radio interview after his song That's All Right was played.
I love that song playing in the background. So this is Terry Stevenson's music. This is a YouTube channel. Let's keep going, guys.
Played on air by Dewey Phillips, which helped launch Elvis' career. He hosted the TV show Teenage Dance Party in Memphis, where Elvis appeared on June 16, 1956. Wink Martindale considered Elvis a close friend and hosted a nationwide tribute radio special in his honor after his death. Today, April 15, 2025.
Such a handsome man, guys.
Wink Martindale has died. He was 91. He was surrounded by family, including his wife Sandy. At the time of his death,
I want to thank you again because we know you're a busy man. Thanks a lot for coming by and seeing us at the dance party and saying hello to all your friends here in Memphis and the Mid-South. Anytime you're in town and want to come by, we certainly will welcome you.
Well, thank you very much, Wing, and I'll see you again.
Okay, thanks a lot. Elvis Presley.
Love it. Let's see what else we can bring up. Remembering Wink. I want to get the ones that are relating to Elvis, because I do really believe that that Wink spoke so beautifully of Elvis. I think this is the bit where he does a speech for Elvis. Let me just get it up.
Being friends with Elvis Presley, Wink Martindale was affected just like we were when he passed away. But one of the things that spoke to Wink the most truest to him was what happened with Elvis's legacy by the books that were written about him right after he died and for years afterwards. Talking about things and telling things that friends wouldn't write about a friend, but that happened. So he wanted to do something to say what he thought about Elvis Presley.
So I think I've watched this before. Wink didn't like all the trash that was being said about Elvis. He wanted to honor Elvis respectfully.
And here to present that tonight for us, Mr. Wink Martindale.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I was just thinking, we could be anywhere else.
So what's that? Leilani. The grandchildren made the account as a YouTube account. I'm not sure. Do you have a YouTube account? Oh, her grandchildren made the account as a YouTube. I got it right. Got it with you.
But Franklin, Tennessee tonight. So many places we could be. But all of us chose to be in this theater to celebrate the life of the greatest entertainer of our generation.
Yes.
Elvis Presley. And we made a good decision to be here tonight. As most of you know, I was privileged to witness firsthand the beginning of Presley Mania one night. It was fate, simply fate, that led me to WHBQ Radio that hot July night in 1954, when Dewey Phillips, my friend, played a new record by a truck driver for Crown Electric, Elvis Presley. The record, of course.
So guys, this is beautiful. Have a good listen, guys. So Lorna says Charlie Hodge was a true friend. Liam, Tom Jones was a true friend. Liam, I love Tom Jones. I'm a big Tom Jones fan. Yeah. I think Elvis and Tom Jones were great friends. But I don't want to rock the boat. But people are a little bit worried about what went on between Tom Jones and Priscilla. Now, I'm not saying anything did. I'm just saying, you may get a reaction to that comment, but I am a Tom Jones fan.
Of course, was That's All Right Mama. And music from that night forward would never quite be the same again. You know, most of us can still remember where we were the day we learned that the king of rock and roll had died. Many of us to this day.
I agree with that, guys. We all know where we were. I was camping when I found out Elvis had passed. I was camping with the Cub Scouts. I don't know what you call them in America, but they're called Adventure Scouts, something like that. I remember exactly when everyone found out that Elvis had passed. I think we all do. Don't we all remember, guys?
Today, still find it difficult to accept that he's no longer with us. It's so sad to realize that this most adored celebrity of the 20th century died far too soon. August 16th,
1977. Few dates are as indelibly printed in our memory as that one.
This reminds me of my live streams. You've got the kids in the background making noises, ruining a beautiful moment. I can imagine Wink Martindale, he's really prepared for this, and he really takes this very seriously. Yeah, this is beautiful. But then you've got the kids screaming in the background. Let's keep going.
Pearl Harbor, that infamous day in Dallas, perhaps 2 or 3 more. But odds are better than none that you remember where you were and what you were doing at the moment you learned that the man who shaped the music of a generation was gone. These were my thoughts and feelings about this man I'd met that hot summer night in 1954 at the very beginning of his 22 years of glory. You might consider this an open letter, not only to you fans, but more importantly to those who attempted to tarnish the memory of Elvis, some even making a mockery of his passing. Were the accusations and claims in the many books truthful and accurate? Did the doctors ever really level with us about the cause of his death? My answer, rhetorically, is why ask? For there are no answers that can bring back the person we loved and admired so much. I've often wondered, and I'm sure you have too, what is it about human nature that makes us ask more about a person's shortcomings than his successes? Personally, nobody will ever convince me this man was anything but a good, kind, and generous human being. That was
Remember, what is Wink really doing here? He's trying to defend his friend.
Elvis to me. Talented beyond words. God-fearing, yes. For all of his 42 years on this earth, his humble beginnings in that little Tupelo shack, and the Christian upbringing by Gladys and Vernon lighted a path he would follow for the rest of his mortal life. Strayed from that path, of course. We all do, for he was only human, and humans make mistakes. The truth is, we made him a god, but he was only a man. We called him the king of rock and roll, but his response was always the same. There is but one king, Jesus Christ. Elvis loved his country. He served it proudly and with honor at the very height of his career, asking no special treatment and with no complaints. His love for his fellow man, his loyalty, the generosity became legend befitting a legend. He found great joy in giving. For him, material things were few as a child, but as a man he had it all, and my God, did he love to give. The most precious thing he gave many of us was his friendship.
Do you hear that? The most precious thing he gave any of us was his friendship. Yeah. So this is special, guys. If you haven't heard this before, it's beautiful.
That was the Elvis I knew. Those of us who played his hits on radio and those of you who bought his talents on records and in movies helped buy him a Memphis mansion, gold Cadillacs, and clothes embroidered in silver. To watch an Elvis performance in person was more than just memorable. To have done so, you know what I mean. How many times were you there? How many times did you witness and wonder the sea of popping flashbulbs illuminating a darkened hall such as this? The frenzied excitement that carried a tingle to your toes, the undeniable chill down your back, all is so much a part of an Elvis concert. The swelling sound of 2001 reminded us that way in the wings stood the man whose first name alone had won more recognition than any other full name in the world. And then that familiar walk on stage in that familiar jumpsuit was truly an unforgettable moment. We laughed with him when he sang about that hound dog. We cried real tears when he left the stage in the summer of his final year singing Can't Help Falling in Love. It's a sad irony but true that on the day Elvis died, a steady rain began to fall on a parched Las Vegas. The same Vegas Elvis had conquered years before. Near the end, friends and fans alike wanted with all of our hearts to see him healthy and happy again, because he had brought us so much happiness. Elvis once said, I watch my audience, I listen, I know we're all getting something out of our system. Nobody knows what it is, but the important thing is we're getting rid of it, and nobody's getting hurt.
So someone just asked if this is on the Facebook page. I've just put it on there now for you. Who was it that asked? I think, was it Emily or Martha? I can't remember. I can't see it. Let's have a look. Anyway, yes, I've just put it on there now quickly. So, hi Linda. Sorry, I'm missing a comment here. Louis, I emailed you months ago about the rain in Vegas that day. Hi Linda, welcome. Hope you're well. So I'm just trying to catch up on your comments, guys. It is, Martha, it is very touching, isn't it? Hi, Yee. All right, yeah, you guys are all starting to put in the comments the day Elvis passed, what you were doing. Please, anyone watching this tonight or tomorrow or later, please put it in the comments. Where were you the day Elvis passed? I love reading your stories of that moment. It's very interesting and quite heartfelt, isn't it? It's heartbreaking when you tie the memories of where you were. You could have been with your parents, your brothers and sisters, you know, in a home that you're not in anymore. Could have been at school, at work. Yeah, many of you have got different memories, haven't you? I'm intrigued to know exactly where people were when they found out. I'm just trying to quickly catch up with your comments here, guys. Hi, Jimmy. Bye, Linda. You off, are you? Linda, have a great day, Linda. She's off to work. Lou, right, okay. It's all right. Right, okay, let's keep going.
I conclude my thoughts on this man to the words of Kathy Westmoreland. You who have been left with a great emptiness and void in your hearts, remember the good gifts he gave us. He said shortly before he died, I'm here to make people happy. That's my mission in life. I was chosen by God to do it. My happiest moments have always been on stage. I'll never stop until the day I die. He kept his word.
Now that is a true friend. That is loyalty. Yeah, that is someone who genuinely liked Elvis, who knew the real Elvis. Yeah, not this warped version that has been unfairly spoken about, lied about for the last 50 years. Well done. Wink Martindale. Well done.
Thank you very much.
So Frederick says, my teacher in school in the fall of 77 was born the same day and the year as Elvis. He told us that and was a big fan. Elvis, of course, had recently passed and that made me more aware of Elvis. Thank you, Frederick. So Pat, I was just walking up for school, had my radio on and heard. Thank you, Pat. Liam, you were in the stars, my friend. Oh, thanks, Emily. It was you. Okay, thank you. Right. So I just spotted this just now. Where is it? There was something that showed. Let's just click on this. Remember, we're sort of clicking as we go, guys. Now, there's going to be a part 2 to this. because we don't have enough time to go through all these clips. I want to do. I'm going to go off now, walk the dogs, do some exercise, and then I'm going to come back and do a part 2. Okay, but let me just click on this a minute, guys. I just want to see what this is.
Today, I'm joined by American broadcast legend, TV producer, and of course, game show host, Wink Martindale. Welcome in, Wink.
Thank you, Lauren. It's a pleasure.
It's such a pleasure to have you with us. And a lot of people know you as the most successful game show host there is in the world, but you got your start in radio. So can you break that down for us and take us back to the very beginning?
Yeah, I can take you back to when I was 7 or 8 years old. And I always wanted to be on the radio. There was a fascination to me about being able to talk into a microphone and hear yourself or hear whatever on the other end of a radio speaker. So with that fascination, I always wanted to be in radio. And it so happens that my first job came about thanks to my Sunday school teacher, who happened to be the manager of a little 250 water in Jackson, Tennessee, my hometown. I bugged him and bugged him and bugged him. Chick, when you gonna give me a job? Chick, when you gonna give me a... Finally, I caught him at a weak moment. And he said, come on. We went up to the 4th floor of the First National Bank building downtown where WPLI was located. He sat me down in front of a real microphone, something I'd been dreaming about for years, gave me some news copy and a couple of commercials to read, and I went through them like Grant going through Richmond.
And little did he know, that would lead to him meeting and becoming very good friends with Elvis Presley.
And so he said, you come down here tomorrow after you finish school. I was a senior in high school. He said, you come down here tomorrow and you do this well for the mayor. The mayor happened to own the little 250 watt station. He said, you do this well for him and you've got yourself a job. I couldn't wait for school to be out the next day. Anyway, that was my beginning.
Interesting. Obviously, guys, you know I was a DJ, but this man takes it to another level, doesn't he? The stardom this man goes on to have is just unbelievable. Let's play a little bit more.
Wow, incredible. And then that persistence paid off. It got you there after high school, and it led you to WBHQ and Sun Studios in Memphis. And you worked with rock and roll artists, the kind of the turn of rock and roll music, right? With Jerry Lee Lewis, Roy Orbison, Johnny Cash, and of course, Elvis Presley. So can you take me through those experiences and what was it like working at Sun Studios?
So this is the bit we want to hear, guys.
Well, I consider myself so lucky to have been in Memphis in the mid-1950s when rock and roll really got started. I was so lucky to have been part of rock and roll history. Not only did I meet and interview so many of the iconic Sun recording artists that you mentioned, but their music truly changed the world and started what became known as rock and roll. And I was there to see it happen. I was especially honored to have met Elvis at the very beginning of his career.
Guys, it is amazing. It's literally fantastic. It's like, wow, like there can only be one Wink Martindale, isn't there? So I'm going to play a little bit more, then I'm going to go and we're going to come back. We're going to do a part 2. Okay, guys?
And we remained friends until he passed away. But it was an iconic time in Memphis. And it was such a pleasure to be a part of it.
Yeah, sure was. Right, guys, today I'm dedicating today to Wink Martindale. Yeah, so any lives we do today will be for Wink Martindale. That he was such a good friend, such a loyal, true friend to Elvis, which Elvis needed. Elvis needed the true friends, the loyal friends. Even after he passed, people showed their true colors, didn't they, guys? Now, you obviously there's many people that truly defend Elvis, that loved him and have never said a bad word about him. Many, yeah? But then you get the people that I call fake friends, that once Elvis passed, you see a different side to them. Even during his life, some of them betrayed him. Yeah, so Wink Martindale is one of the good guys. One of the good guys. Okay, we're going to come back for a part 2. Give me about, I don't know, about half an hour, and then we'll come back and we'll do a part 2. I want to try and rush through a few things, maybe a little bit longer, but we're going to come back for this, guys. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate all of you.